Good morning, students. Civics, second chapter, Fundamental Rights and Directive Principles of State Policy. Fundamental rights are incorporated in Part 3 from Articles 12 to 35 of Indian Constitution. Articles are nothing but the subparts of the part. So, Indian Constitution incorporated with so many parts in part 3. In those part 3 from article 12 to 35 indicates the fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. So, now let us know about the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are important feature of Indian Constitution. Now let us know the evolution of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the components of Indian Constitution. They are incorporated and inspired from the Bills of Rights mentioned in American Association American Constitution. They develop the personality. Personality means the totality of a person. It improves the fullest extent possible through fundamental rights. They provide strength and succor to independent India. So, they form the basis of our political system. The concept of Swaraj and these fundamental rights cannot be altered through ordinary laws. So, they are six in number. The fundamental rights are right to equality, right to liberty, right against exploitation, right to religion, educational and cultural rights, right to property, and a right to constitutional remedies. So, they even though they are seven in number, but the right to property has been deleted, and it is only the constitutional right, not a fundamental right. So, fundamental rights are right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right to constitutional remedies, right against exploitation, educational and cultural right, and right to freedom of religion. Okay, now let us know the important characteristic features of fundamental rights. Some of fundamental rights are granted to the citizens alone. So, who are known as citizens? The people or the young or those who have completed 18 years of age are known as the citizens of India. So, the nature or characteristic feature of fundamental rights are granted to the citizens only. For the foreigners, the fundamental rights are not granted. For example, equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. So, if you apply for a public employment, you can conclude that everybody can apply. So, equal opportunity to all, protection against discrimination on any ground. There should not be discrimination in case of color, creed, sex, and everything. So, the freedom of speech, everybody can speech, And freedom of assembly, any association can gather the members and there is a right of assembly. And association, etc., are the some fundamental rights comes under this category. And cultural and educational rights of the minorities, of course there are some reservations, so they are not granted to the foreigners. Equality before law and equal protection, protection of life, freedom of religion are the best examples for the fundamental rights. So the main feature of fundamental right is they are granted to the citizens of India only, not for the foreigners. So even though there are some reservations, it is the best example for encouraging the backward and scheduled castes and scheduled tribe peoples. For upliftment, it is useful for the citizens of India. And the second feature is some of the fundamental rights are positive in nature. They provide scope for the citizens to enjoy sometimes types of freedom. On the other hand, some of the fundamental rights are negative in nature. They impose some restrictions upon the activities of the state. So, the second feature of the fundamental rights are positive and negative. Positive rights provide enjoyment of some types of freedom, and some negative rights are imposed restrictions upon the activities of the state or citizens. The third feature, not absolute. The fundamental rights are not absolute. It means the state can impose a reasonable restriction on their utilization and enjoyment in the interest of public order, morality, and friendly relations with foreign states. So, in foreign affairs, the head of the state or the prime minister of the nation, they are not absolute. So they may impose some restrictions in relation to the foreign countries for the public order and morality and friendly relations with foreign states. The fourth one, state may impose some restrictions on all or some of the fundamental rights of the citizens during emergency. During emergency, the fundamental rights are not valid. The President of India can suspend all the fundamental rights except Article 21, which is known as the right to life. During the national emergency, during the period of Indira Gandhi, we have experienced the emergency. So, at the time of emergency, all fundamental rights are suspended by the President of India, and only the right to life, which comes and which expressed in Article 21, may not be suspended, and it is continued forever. However, the freedoms guaranteed cannot be restricted by anybody. So all can enjoy the fundamental rights except in emergency period. There are some are positive and some are negative, and they are not absolute, and the state can impose some restrictions during some emergency period, and in those period also Article 21, which is known as the right to life, cannot be suspended, so everybody can enjoy free